Keep telling yourself who you are, what you're capable of, who you're becoming, where you're going, what you're going to accomplish, and the way you're going to leave your fingerprint on this world. And for me, I don't have time to waste. I lost my 20-year-old nephew 4 years ago due to a tragic motorcycle crash, and it was another reminder that life is not promised tomorrow. So what are you going to do today? I tell every person I get a chance to, stop making a to-do list and make a today list. What am I going to do today? What am I going to execute? Who am I going to touch today? Who am I going to speak life into today? Just in case I'm not here tomorrow.
The time is now to boldly step forward, love with intensity, and embark on the journey to create the best version of yourself. Let's breach these barriers together. Hello, family. Welcome back to the BreEvolve podcast. I'm your host, Bree, and here we dive into my spiritual journey, personal development, as well as the transformative power of faith. Today, we have a truly remarkable guest, Dr. Cheryl Wood. I had the privilege of interviewing her at the Women's Empowerment event, The Table by Lakeisha Bunn, and the energy there was just breathtaking. It was clear and evident that God was working all throughout that event. Dr. Wood is an international keynote speaker, a two-time TEDx speaker, a best-selling author, the founder of Voices of Change Media, as well as a master speaker development coach for women. She is committed to empowering and equipping women to courageously share their unique voice, their story, and their expertise. Dr. Wood specializes in training for both entrepreneurial women and corporate women who are ready to articulate their message in a clear, concise, compelling way. She has devoted over a decade to creating platforms that illuminate the narratives of women, dedicated to building a more helpful, equitable, and innovative future. Recently, Dr. Wood has achieved first place in the 2024 eWomen Network competition, earning the title of North America's Next Greatest Speaker. Her influence has reached some of the world's most prestigious organizations like the FBI, Verizon, the Department of Defense, the United Nations, and many more, where her riveting keynotes have transformed and inspired countless lives. Dr. Wood's journey from bootstrapping her own successful international speaking empire to being featured in publications like Forbes, Essence, and the Huffington Post is a testament to her dedication and impact. Her accolades, such as the 2023 Icon of Excellence Award and the 2021 Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, further cement her legacy. I could go on and on about Dr. Wood's accolades and things that she's achieved, which is incredible. But I truly appreciate the person that she is. When I met her, she was present. She really connected and took time to pour into me. And I'm truly thankful. I love that I was able to see a model that being gracious and staying the way I am is not only possible, I plan to stay this way, but seeing a model of a person that I see so much of myself in and seeing how she's how I am, but on a different level, it gives me courage to know that being gracious is not just something that I hope to hold on to, but it's necessary. I felt so strongly that I was getting confirmation from God that I'm on the right path. And let this be a testament, because if you pray, be prepared to get the answer. I prayed hard to get confirmation that I'm not just for my own will. Like, I actually feel like I'm helping people, but I asked God, like, please show me a sign that this is where I'm supposed to be. And I'm supposed to be giving my time and effort to this thing because I want to be on your path. So I prayed, and I feel like at the table, I got so much confirmation. And I am truly, it's unexplainable what I felt. And I'm just truly grateful for it all. And I just thank God. That was nothing but God moving throughout that entire event. You will see how grateful I was at the end, because she brought me to tears. And y'all know that that is not normal for me, okay? Because I usually could keep it together. But the gratitude that I just felt that God was, he gave me everything that I was praying for, and it's on me to do my part now. Dr. Wood's mission is to empower women globally to courageously share their stories and design lives that they truly love. I truly felt that's her mission, and it's not something that she's just saying, but I want you all to stick around and listen to this interview because it changed my life, and I feel like it will definitely change yours. Prepare to be inspired and motivated by the phenomenal Dr. Cheryl Wood. Let's go. Hello, we are here at the table with Dr. Cheryl Wood. She is the International Keynote Speaker for the event. It is so lovely to have you here. I could not wait to speak with you.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. I went into the room and the energy I could tell was already magnetic.
Oh, yes.
I was like, oh, this is my audience. I'm
Yes,
ready.
Yes. So I was preparing for our interview and I was like, I see so much of myself in you. So I just couldn't wait to talk to you.
Well, I'm glad we're here.
Yes. So on your website, I love that you say every message has the power to create a shift in people's thoughts and perspective. And I agree with it because we're all uniquely made.
Absolutely.
And we all have something that we can share with one another. You took the stage for the first time in 2010.
Yes. I
What-
remember like it was yesterday.
Really? I can imagine.
I was terrified, basically.
I can imagine. Yes. So what made you get out of your comfort zone? You know, we hope, wish, pray.
Yeah.
What was that moment that was like, okay, I have to do it. It has to be done.
You know, I was in a space where I felt like I was existing in life instead of living life. And at the time, I had become a mom of 3. And it's something about when you have kids, you realize that you are their first role model.
Yeah.
So you can't just preach and teach to them, live your dreams and pursue your passion and do what you're called to do, but you're not doing it. Because trust me, kids will get to the point where they're teenagers like mine are now, and they will return those words to you, well, why aren't you? That's just how life works. Kids, they don't do what you say, they do what you do. And so for
Yes.
me, I understood that I had a higher responsibility now, other than just myself. I needed to literally pave a path for my children, to see what it's like to desire something, to be terrified about doing it, but you take the risk anyway, and you fail along the way. But ultimately, if you're consistent and you stick with it, you can still get to your end result.
Yes, you spoke directly to me because my kids, I have 3 kids as well.
Yeah.
They're all younger, so they're not at that stage where they can reflect it
Yes.
back. So I'm trying to just do it, just do it, just do
Yes.
it. So yes, thank you for that.
And you are doing it, and they'll
I know,
watch this. And that's the
yes.
beautiful thing about the digital world is they get to see you. They get to go to YouTube or your channel and watch mommy, and they'll
Yes.
be in awe of the chances that you took, of the boldness that you demonstrated. And I'm telling you that is contagious for our kids. So you are already doing it. It's not trying, you're doing, and that is to be commended. Yeah.
Thank you. And this is
Absolutely.
so out of my comfort zone, so I appreciate
That's
that.
beautiful. That means you're
I-
growing.
Yes.
If it doesn't scare
I feel
you,
it.
it can't grow you, right? Because if it doesn't scare you, it means you're doing what you already know how to
Yeah.
do, and there is no growth. So you're
Yes.
growing because you
Yeah.
have intentionally put yourself in a space completely outside of your norm, and that's beautiful. Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
I feel like your story is like so many of us. I did a lot of research on you, clearly. So you spoke about, it was on an interview you did before, but you spoke about having what everyone, you checked off all the boxes. So everyone was like, well, you should be good. You got the decent job, the husband, the kids.
Right.
Like, you should be good. What would your advice be for someone who needs to get out of their comfort zone, just like you did? What steps, baby steps, did you take to get out of your comfort zone and find your true passion?
I think, first of all, being curious about what is on the other side of whatever you're terrified of, whatever you've been running from. Like, you have to have such a curiosity about what else is possible. What else could I have? What else could I experience other than what I'm currently experiencing? Especially if you're not in a realm that's really fulfilling you and nurturing you inside. So that was number 1. I had a curiosity. Number 2, I was then willing to do the work. So many people want to dream, and that's great to dream, but it doesn't stop there. I tell every client that I work with that knowledge is power. We know that. So I can have knowledge that there's something else available, but knowledge executed is your superpower. And you've got to play in your superpower by getting out and doing something, even terrified, even when you feel unworthy. And I promise you, I had all of those feelings when I first started. I didn't feel like, I grew up in Baltimore, in an inner city housing project in Baltimore, Maryland. Nobody was telling me I could be a giant in the world. So I didn't have that self-talk in my head. I had to learn that and develop that. And as I developed that self-talk and I kept repeating it to myself, that's when I started saying, okay, now let's place all bets on me. Let's take some risks. Let's go for it. We don't know. There's no guaranteed end result or outcome, but let's just go for it and try. Because what do you have to lose? That's really the question you have to ask yourself. What do you have to lose? If you're already in a space of not being as content and fulfilled as you want to be, what do you have to lose? So just, I would say, go for it. Take risks, but make sure they're calculated risks. When I took risks to leave my job, I had to really consider, I have a husband who's depending on my financial contribution to the household, and I have 3 children who like to eat 3 times a day. So, so it wasn't just, some people will tell you, just leap. Well, you've got to make sure that you leap with some calculation, because our first ministry is home, and you don't want to abandon your responsibilities at home to go out and pursue something that potentially you could experience failure, because that's going to be a trickle-down effect to your family. So it has to be calculated risks.
And I love that you say you had to learn that self-talk. Because a lot of people will see your success and say, oh, she just has it in her.
She woke up yesterday like that. Girl, I'm not Beyonce.
Right. But they'll get intimidated seeing your success or anyone's success and think, okay, well, I just don't have it. I wasn't in that environment. So I think it's important. I love that you said you had to teach yourself, because no matter where you are, people will know, well, we could just, relearn this, unlearn and relearn whatever we need to.
Absolutely. So, and again, you have to be okay being terrified doing the thing.
That's the thing.
I promise you, from the time I took the first stage in 2010 at Morgan State University to when I was 2 years in, 3 years in, 5 years in, every time I took a new stage that pushed me in a way I hadn't been pushed before, I was terrified all over again. But I just kept saying to myself, this is the beautiful thing about the subconscious mind. The more you tell it something, the more it believes it. So if I keep repeating negative, saying, oh, I can't do this, nobody's going to want to hear me, I'm going to stay stuck in negativity and scarcity. But if I want to come on the other side into abundance and prosperity and fulfillment, I've got to shift and start saying some things that will elevate me, elevate my thoughts, elevate my steps, elevate my movements, and just do it. And then you learn. And even when you fail, right, we call it a failure, it's just information learned to help you become better. If you succeed at everything, all you're doing is stroking your ego. Oh, I did it, I did that. That's all you're doing. But the moment you don't quite get it right, you're like, okay, the next time. And that's the important thing, is if you fall down, don't stay down. There has to be a next time. Okay, the next time I do it, I'm going to tweak this and shift this and change this. And that only makes you better and better. And that's how you end up standing here confidently, because, baby, I've been through all of the failures and falling flat on my face publicly, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with getting back up quickly and bouncing back and figuring out, okay, what was that and how do I fix it so that I can keep moving forward. At the end of the day, it's all about continuing the path and continuing to move forward.
That is good. You've spoken in a lot of diverse countries like South Africa, India, France. How have these international experiences shaped your perspective on the power of a woman's voice globally?
It has been a reminder that there is no need for comparison or competition. There are over 8 billion people in the world. Why are we fighting for what's in this zip code? It makes no sense when there are young girls who look like me in South Africa who need to be reminded that regardless of their past, regardless of where they come from, they are still necessary. They have a story to tell, and that they are enough, they are worthy, and they are capable of becoming great leaders of our future. So all of those international travels just reconfirmed for me that I'm on a divine assignment to empower and inspire more women to step up to the plate. It's not about what you don't have. And I get that, because I was there once upon a time where I was counting myself out, all the stuff I didn't have. But you've got to focus more on what you do have. What do you bring to the table that you can use to contribute to the betterment of society? So for me, it's just I have a special place in my heart for women and girls. And until I leave this place, my intention is to speak up, to speak out, so that they can have an example of, because we've heard the expression that if you see it, you can believe it. So representation is important. And being able to travel to other parts of the world and show girls and women of color what's possible from a girl who grew up in poverty, who came from an inner city housing project, who came from scarcity, and now is on the other side of that and using my voice powerfully. What to me that says is, if I can, so can you. So don't ever count yourself out. And that's what I want my legacy to be, is women looking at me and saying, okay, if she came from that, and if she made her way here, and she kept trying, and she fell flat on her face, and she got back up, and she didn't let anything stop her, maybe I can too. Now that's a legacy, and that's the legacy I'd like to leave.
Oh, I love that. So confidence is key.
to effectively sharing one's message. What exercises or practice do you recommend for women to build their confidence as speakers or with anything that they want to pursue in life? That confidence.
Speak. I literally, that seems so small, but it is so potent. People ask me all the time now, Dr. Cheryl, have you always been this confident? And my answer is, heck no. No, I wasn't. I was terrified. But I kept showing up. You've got to do three things. You show up, you speak up, you follow up. You show up and share your voice, even when you're terrified, even when you feel small, even when you have imposter syndrome, which so many of us suffer with. You show up anyway. But then when you show up, you don't sit in the back of the room quietly. You've got to challenge yourself. Okay, now here comes the real test. I got to get in and I got to meet people. And I got to tell them who I am and what I do and what my goals are so that I don't know who in this room can open a door of opportunity for me. So now you've got to speak up boldly. And you may tremble a little bit as you first do it, and you may fumble your words some, but that's okay because progress happens from being in motion. Consistent motion, and then you follow up. You follow up on the opportunities. You connect with the people that you met at the events. You, again, express to them what your goals are, and if you want to speak on stage, say that out loud. I want to be a speaker. I remember when I first started speaking, I used to go into rooms and I would introduce myself as, I wasn't even Dr. Cheryl yet. I was like, I'm Cheryl Wood, International Empowerment Speaker. I hadn't left Baltimore yet. I had never left Baltimore. But what I was doing was I was speaking into existence the thing that had not yet manifested as though it was. Because if you speak in the present tense, then there's something that happens inside of you that makes you give more commitment to it, more discipline to it, because you're speaking as though it already is. And it will only be that way if you speak as if it is. So for me, I always follow the quote by Zig Ziglar that you've got to see the reaching in your own mind to get to a goal before you ever get there. So in my mind, I was already there because my spirit was there. And when you're energized about something, you're excited, like you can feel, it's almost like you're bubbling forth inside and something's brewing in your belly. It just hasn't manifested tangibly yet, but it's coming. It is coming. So I encourage you and admonish you to speak a thing as though it has already happened.
I'm definitely going to be using that and telling all of my friends about that because it's so powerful. Like you were saying, your subconscious, if you keep saying it, you'll work towards it more.
Have you ever noticed somebody who tells a lot of lies? You notice how they start believing their lies? Because the subconscious mind, whatever you tell it, it will believe it ultimately. So if the person is consistently telling themselves a lie, then they will almost convince you of the lie because they really believe it inside. Well, just flip that and turn it into a positive and keep telling yourself who you are, what you're capable of, who you're becoming, where you're going, what you're going to accomplish, and the way you're going to leave your fingerprint on this world. And for me, I don't have time to waste. I lost my 20-year-old nephew 4 years ago due to a tragic motorcycle crash, and it was another reminder that life is not promised tomorrow. So what are you going to do today? I tell every person I get a chance to, stop making a to-do list and make a today list. What am I going to do today? What am I going to execute? Who am I going to touch today? Who am I going to speak life into today, just in case I'm not here tomorrow? I know that I can lay on my head on my pillow and I can rest easy that I have been a good and faithful steward over everything God has assigned me and that I did the work that I knew I was called to do and born to do.
I just need to marinate in that for a second. Thank you so much. I know
so
you will be helping so many people with this message. You definitely helped me just
Thank you for your energy. Thank you for how thorough you were with this interview. The fact that you did your research, like that speaks volumes. You didn't just come and ask random questions. You were intentional about the opportunity, and that is how you grow. Every time, no matter how small or how seemingly big, every opportunity you get, treat it with a level of excellence. And that's what you did. I'm telling you, you're going to go a long way. So just keep going.
That should make me cry.
You got this. Yeah, just keep going, girl.
About to give me emotional.
It's okay.
Thank you so much.
Tears is cleansing. I cry free.
What did I tell y'all? Just take it all in. Just take it all in. Take a moment. Did y'all catch the ending? If you're not watching on YouTube, you're going to have to go catch the video because I was just so overwhelmed with what God was doing in that moment.
and I just could not contain myself. I feel like Dr. Cheryl really embodies everything that this podcast is all about, and it's empowering everyone to become your best self. You have everything you need within you to get started with your assignment that God has given you. You have it all within you, you just have to unlock it. And I love how she makes that message so clear and in a way that you truly feel it in your soul, in your spirit. Like, God is definitely working through Dr. Cheryl, and I so appreciate that God had our paths meet. I know that's nothing but God. So let me share with you how I know this was God's doing. So my mother and I, while the program was going on, we snuck out for a minute to go to the lobby, to the backdrop, to record an introduction for my media that I was putting together for the table. So I wanted to introduce it in a way and have, their backdrop, the beautiful backdrop that they had. I was scheduled to do an interview with Dr. Cheryl Wood, but I didn't have the time. So I went out there and she happened to be out there. And someone from the team was like, okay, Dr. Cheryl, so once you're done here, you're going to do your interview with Brianna. So I was like, okay. So I ran to go get my notes. I just assumed I wouldn't have time to speak with her. And I was like, that's okay. I'll probably have a minute to chat with her after the event, but not so in depth like I really wanted to. So I ran and got my notes, and then it was just this energy that was so reaffirming, reassuring that this is where I'm meant to be. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And even being in a space for the first time, in that type of space, being a media partner for the first time, not knowing certain things that I should have, like decor or, just not knowing the ropes of it. It's my first time. So I took a lot of notes. So the next time I'll be even better. Practice makes perfect. But I was just sitting in my seat like, wow, God, you sent me out of all of these talented people who've been doing it for way longer than I have, probably know way more about the business than I do, but you sent me out there to conduct an interview with Dr. Cheryl. And I was just in amazement. The whole experience, it was so surreal, and I was just so thankful. So thankful to be in the room. So thankful that me pushing myself out of my comfort zone got me so many new opportunities, and to feel and share energy that I didn't even know existed in this business space. It was truly amazing. But I wanted to give you all some scripture to go behind the message that Dr. Cheryl and also that I'm trying to push on this platform. The first one is Psalm 139, verse 13. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. God made you fearfully and wonderfully. That goes with you have everything you need within you, and also that your voice matters. You were not made to be shy and allow it to keep you from sharing what God put down inside of you. He didn't give us a spirit of fear. It's normal. I know it's normal to be shy, but you're going to have to pray it away and have faith in God that He's not going to give you something that will just leave you out there looking crazy. It's put inside you for a reason to share with the world. It's put inside you for a reason to share with the world, and He did not make a mistake with you by putting it in your mind and your heart. It's there for a reason, and He wants you to get it out to help those around you. And He's telling you that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So when things get hard, when you're walking in your purpose and you just feel like it's too much, or everyone's looking at you a certain way, or you just don't have what it takes, whatever self-talk you have to yourself, here's some scriptures that you could keep with you to combat those thoughts. This one, Philippians 4:13, and it's not unfamiliar. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Just having that in your heart, you will know that you can overcome this fear or overcome this slight hiccup or this obstacle because you have God on your side. As long as you keep Him close and you're doing what He's telling you to do, you're moving in your purpose and following His footsteps, you'll be fine. You can do all things, not some things. Not some things I could do, some things I'm good at, some things I'm not. No, you can do all things, whether you're good, you think you're good at it or not. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. Another one is Psalm 55, verse 22. Cast your cares into the Lord and He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. This shows me that I don't have to know every single detail. It will be laid out in due time, in His timing, for when I need to know certain things. So if I just follow what He's put in my heart, one day at a time, Lord, give me my daily bread. He will sustain me. I don't need to know every single detail that will usually scare me into not doing what He's put on my heart or getting out of my comfort zone. I need to follow what He's given me, the orders that He's given me, what He's put on my heart, my assignment, and He will sustain me. It's in His word. Now, this Bible verse, I used to keep on my mirror, keep in my phone. Like, I kept it everywhere because I constantly needed to be reminded. This one is Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. That first sentence, have I not commanded you? I have the vision in my head and in my heart, but for some reason, whenever I will go for it, fear will come in my head and I allow it to paralyze me. Or being uncertain about every single detail, because I love to have all the details now, child. But not having all the details used to paralyze my production. I'll have everything planned out, but if I think of something like, "Ooh, but how am I going to figure that part out?" Ooh, maybe it's just safer just not to do that, or not to ruffle any feathers and change what I'm used to. Like, let's just stay safe over here because I know what I'll be getting. Even though I know what God has for me is greater, I don't know that I want to endure what I have to go through to get to what God has for me or what He's telling me to do. I was being disobedient to His word. Like, He was telling me to do something and I was like, no, God, I got it over here. I know you said go right there, but I got it over here. And that's crazy foolishness. So Him saying, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Don't be discouraged. All these things that I'm feeling that would in the past have me paralyzed. Before I started getting into my Bible and reading the word, all these things I would allow to paralyze me because I just thought maybe I'll be better just being content because it's familiar. Just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's good for me or my family. Because I'm being the less best version of myself, which trickles into my kids and my husband, and they're not getting what they deserve. So if you can't do it for yourself, think about who you'll be helping, your family, your community, and whom you're supposed to be serving. Think about if you can't do it for yourself, we always seem to put ourselves last on our list. So if you're not doing it for yourself, do it for those around you that will benefit. And think of it as you're delaying someone else. You're delaying someone else's progress by not starting your mission. They can't start their mission until you start your mission. And this goes for your family and those you that serve around you, because your family is looking to you as a role model, or anyone around you. You never know who's watching. Close your eyes and imagine you holding God's hand and you got this. It doesn't matter what people say, because just know they're going to have something to say, whether you're doing good or bad. You're holding God's hand and you're doing what He's telling you to do. And I just know you'll go places that you never even thought were possible and feel these feelings that you didn't even know were possible. The sense of freedom and joy and peace and contentment inside, it's worth it. It's worth it. You don't need every detail. Ask God for your daily bread and you'll be fine. Another one that has been super helpful. And in this particular situation, I prayed and prayed and prayed before I went to the table, the Women's Empowerment Summit, for God to show me that this is exactly the path that I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I got the vision a long time ago. I just need to know, like, is this where I'm supposed to be? Like, really, God, did you tell me to come here? So this is Matthew chapter 7, verse 8. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks, it will be open. I prayed, I asked, and I received. I received abundantly. He not showed me once or twice, but He showed me many a times during the summit that yes, this is what I called you to do. So please continue to do it. Having the confirmation being renewed in my vision is more than I could ask for. And it's such a feeling of peace and a sense of purpose. And just knowing that I'm helping people is amazing, because I love when you all tell me how much is actually helping you. I'm not just wasting my breath here. I'm following what God is telling me to do and allowing Him to use me. So I'm just so happy that I'm able to do what He's put in my heart and feel fulfilled by it. So after you do the seeking and the asking and the knocking, This is what I want to leave you with. This is Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 32. See that you do all I command you. Do not add to it or take away from it. As simple as that. Do as God has commanded you. Not a little bit of it. Sorry, but you haven't done the task. If you just done a little bit of the vision that he's giving you, don't add to it. Don't subtract from it. Do what he's telling you to do and just know that life will be opened up. You'll have new vision, new light, new way to see life if you do as God has commanded you. If you follow the path that he's put in your heart and in your mind and don't allow obstacles to stop you, you get down, try again. It's okay to be embarrassed. It's okay to be afraid, but don't allow those things to keep you down. I was talking with my husband and I was like, just imagine if we all did what was on our heart completely, like we fully did everything that God put on our heart. We will all come together in this beautiful, completed puzzle in the world. We just need a little bit of love and compassion and a little nudge to know that yeah, things will be hard, but it's okay. And if we have the Bible with us, the Word of God with us, then we know we're going to be fine when these things come up. So I do encourage y'all to read your Bible, and I will leave the description and the link below. For the one that I use the Message version, and then I use the Bible app, and it reads to me, and I just be listening like a podcast and highlighting as I go. It's not as intimidating as you all think. So I will leave the description below. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all want some different topics. If you're on YouTube, you can leave a comment below. If you're listening through the podcast app, whatever app that you listen to, hey y'all, it should be a link that you could click that says send text message now. And it will come to me through my podcast website app, but I won't be able to respond. So if you could just leave your email in there so I can get back to you. I love you guys, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful, productive week. And let's get to it. Do what God has commanded you. Be encouraged. See y'all next time.